The town of West Seneca is seeing a big boost in development and ongoing projects.
We're joined now by Town Supervisor Gary Dixon. Thank you, Supervisor, for joining us.
Thank you.
People are talking about Costco, so I guess let's start there. Is it a definite that the Costco is coming to the old Seneca Mall site?
It's as definite as certainly as anybody can make it, in this day and age. But yes, we were able to officially announce it last week, and they will be coming. The developer will be coming to the planning board on August 13th, and the name Costco is plastered all over their documents.
Okay.
What are some of the steps that the town is taking, assuming that Costco is in fact coming, in terms of whether it be traffic patterns, infrastructure, sewer lines, what is happening here?
So luckily for us, the developer is going to do almost all of that. Obviously, they prepare the site, but the traffic upgrades that the Department of Transportation or Erie County will require will be done by the developers. And I know they are going to upgrade the sewers on their property, but since it's not residential, there's really not a lot of added sewers capacity required.
This site it became a dumping ground for years. When you came forward a few years ago and said, I really want to do something with this, something really started happening here. The Costco isn't the only thing coming to the site. What else can you say about what else is maybe coming there?
Well, it's my policy that I don't want to get ahead of the developer. I am aware there's another large store coming. Our buildings department has been contacted by a few well-known restaurants about signage and things like that. But my philosophy is, if there's a 1% chance that by getting ahead of the developer, it's going to mess up the program, I'm going to be quiet.
Okay.
And you have new homes that are also in the process of being built in the town here. Can you talk about, with all this development happening, do you expect rents to go up? Do you think everything is expensive already? That's what we're hearing from a lot of families out there. But do you expect home values to go up? And is the town monitoring any of that? And does the town plan to take any action to try to keep costs down?
Well, we're certainly, we monitor, we're well aware of the very expensive rents. Most, if not all, of the rental properties in town are market rate. These new patio homes that are being built on Seneca Street are, I think, aimed at the seniors who want to downsize, but they have the money to buy either a small brand new house or an attached house. And that's what's going to be there. It's going to be around 40, 45 residences.
Let's talk about the town lowering the speed limit on all town roads from 35 to 30. Why was that necessary, and what are residents saying about that?
I mean, I think it was a long time coming. I think every town is struggling with enforcement of speeding. We certainly are. We're not claiming that this is the magic wand that's going to fix all that, but it definitely is another tool in the police department's toolbox to control the speed. I think people notice, the signs are up. I think people naturally go a bit above the speed limit, so going a bit above 30 is less than going a bit above 35.
There was a resignation on the town board there not too long ago. Do you have any statement at this point on that situation? And is there anything that you need to assure residents of, taxpayers of, moving forward?
Well, I can assure the taxpayers that the town is going to be operated the way it's been operated for the last 7 years, which is we consider the money that we spend to be their money. We're very cognizant of costs while at the same time increasing services like our recreation department. We talked about it when he resigned. I think it's fine just to let him live his life. I don't want to raise that again. The opening is not the position he vacated. We wanted to fill, we tried to fill, but the person who we appointed was, felt that it was, once he was in it, that it was really not for him. which is unfortunate, but so the position is open now, and there's going to be a race in November between two candidates.
Is there a situation kind of going on that maybe the people of West Seneca don't know is going on? This is kind of like a house was put on the market, taken off, put on the market, taken off. So maybe there's an issue in the house. Can you say anything for folks out there saying, is there something going on here that these two gentlemen left and it's vacant?
Well, I mean, the vacancy came about because of what we would consider a violation of trust of his colleagues. So he did the right thing and he resigned. We went through kind of a long process to find someone else. Mark Priori had run for the assembly before. He had won West Seneca, and he seemed a good choice. But you know, I take his kind of the reason he left at face value.
Okay.
He felt that it was once in it, that it was hard for him to be able to devote the amount of time that was going to be required. So we're going to have a race and let the voters decide.
All right, certainly a lot happening in the town of West Seneca. Supervisor, we do appreciate you coming on in to answer some questions about the ongoing construction and other matters happening there in the town. We will be sure to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look forward to see what else is coming to that big site.
It's very exciting. We've waited a long time for this.
You really have. Thank you, Supervisor.